Hello and welcome to class activity 18, file services. In this class activity, we are going to see how we're going to manage files on the server, control the permissions of folders and files that a user or a group of users can do to a specific file or folder. And how to back up to like something called shadow copies of a whole drive. So we'll discuss all of that and you get familiar with all of this. Okay, so let's get started. Open up your class activity number 18 so you can put your screenshots at the bottom and boot up the domain controller. So when you boot up the domain controller, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the File Explorer folder that is right here on the taskbar. So open that up. Okay. So now that you have that open, excuse me for a second. Okay, we are going to double click on the E drive that we created previously. So it's empty, there's nothing in there. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create a folder called demo. So right click in here and let's create a folder. And let's call that folder demo. All right, open up the folder and let's create a text file called demo text in there. So right click in here, go to new and go to text document. Call it demo text. All right, open up demo text and say, and write in there, hello world. Hello world. And save it. All right, so everybody should be familiar with this. So now that it's saved, you can close it. All right, now we are going to go to right click on the demo folder. So go back up a little bit, one arrow up, right click on the demo folder and go to properties. All right, and click on the security tab. And now, here's a couple of things. The owner, the system, the administration users. Click on the administrators. The administrators have full supervisory permissions access to the folder. They have full control, modify, read and execute, list folder content, read and write and everything, right? And even the special permissions. Full control means they can do whatever they want and everything you create inside the folder, they have control over it too. If you click on users, they only have read and execute, list the folder content, and read. They cannot delete files that's in there. You know, Mike Smith and James don't, and all of that, right? So let's click on edit. And if you go click on users, you see these are grayed out. You can't change read and execute. That's because on the E drive, they inherited this. So we want to make sure that these are not, if you want to be able to remove the read and execute or list folders or the read folders, and you want them ungrayed, so what we need to do, hit cancel, go back in here and go to advanced. All right, so make sure you're at the properties of the demo. Click on advanced. And when you click on advanced, you want to click on, you can click on the users, read and execute, or it doesn't really matter. Click on disable inheritance. All right, then convert inherited permissions to explicit. All right, so once that's disabled, you click apply, and then you click OK. All right, if you go back to the demo properties, now if you click on edit and click on the users, you should be able to check them out. So uncheck the read and execute, and then take a picture and put it at the bottom of the screen. Okay? Once you take your picture, click it back, click OK. go back to advanced, and re-enable the inheritance. And then click apply, and then click OK. And you can click OK after that. All right. So now let's go into the demo text file. Open that up. Right click on the demo text file. You can do this pretty much the same thing to a file. Go to properties. Okay, and click on security. And then click on advanced. I'm sorry. Click on users. You can click on users, click on advanced. And you want to click on add. All right, let's add, select a principal. We're going to add Jane Doe, right? Jane in here, and check the names. Jane Doe came up, click OK. So that's your principal, right? And what else do we need to do? You can click show advanced permissions. In addition to these advanced, you may want to give Jane Doe create files, read and write, right? Take a picture of that. Put it on the bottom of the lap. And in addition, what you could do is you can add these, or you can say, the added permissions, in addition to all of that for the principal Jane Doe, you can set a condition. You can say, add the condition to limit access to a specific device that's in, it has to be authenticated, for example, right? Equal to a value, and you can put the value of whatever, or a user. And then you can authenticated user. All right, so a specific device equal and the user. Take a picture of that. You can authenticate that too. Put that at the bottom of the users. All right, hit cancel. When you do that, hold on a second. Okay, so you clicked on cancel. And you can click cancel here, get out of here as well. You know what? Go back to advanced. I'm sorry. And let's go back to auditing. Okay. We want to add a user that's going to be auditing. Select the principal. And let's remember we created Jason. Let's get Jason. Jason 4C. And that's Jane Doe. Oh, no, we removed Jason. Oh, that's right. We removed him when we created. Okay, let's get back Jane Doe. That's fine. And so we can actually click on advanced permissions. If they fail, if they succeed logging in, we want to be able to give them create files and folders. So that's a condition when they log in. I don't know, you can do whatever you want, right? And you can add a condition too. Take a picture of that. You can actually hit cancel. Let's click on effective access. Means what are all the permissions combined together that can give a specific user, right? To the administrator, for example, you can change the group or whatever you want, right? So that is what the effective access means. Okay, so you can click on select a user. Let's say Mike Smith. In here, check the names. What is the Mike Smith effective access at this? So include the membership. Well, it doesn't have any membership to the group. You can select the device. Let's say select your device, the server. Mine is MA2K right here, the client server. Okay, click OK. Include a user claim. You could do that. Include a specific device. Let's view the effective access. There you go. There's the effective access for Mike Smith on that client server. So take a picture of that and put it at the bottom of the lab. All right, hit cancel. Cancel in here too. All right, now let's go back to the demo folder. So let's go back up. Right click on the demo folder and go to properties again. All right, this is we already know, but I just wanted to make sure. How do you create sharing, right? How do you share a folder? You click on sharing. You can go to advanced sharing, share this folder, right? And click on permissions. And then you can add whoever you want. So you click on add. Let's do that. And let's say I want Mike. And I want also Jane Doe. Right, check the names. Jane Doe to have, Jane Doe will have full. Mike Smith will have read only, right? And I want you to remove everyone. So click like that, right? Take a picture of this and put it at the bottom of the lab. Now you can say apply, I don't care, okay? And once you say okay, this is the network path where it's going to be located on the server. Okay, so you can use it for GPOs. Remember we're doing that? So take a screenshot of that. All right, so now we can know how to share folders and give it to specific users or groups where they can share it. All right, the last thing I want to go over is what happens if you want to share permissions and NTFS permissions, and there is something called the access-based numerations. Well, this is really new with the 2012 server, started with the 2020 servers, where users can only see the folder they have access to. They will not be able to see any folders they're not allowed to, they're not have access to, which is something really great. How do you do that? All right, we can close this and be able to see that. Let's open up the server manager. So click on the server manager. All right, let the server manager come up. We need to access the file and storage services right here when it comes up. Remember, this is still booting up. So let it boot up. Okay, so click on File and Storage Services. Click on Shares. Okay, wait till it comes up. Remember we did this a while back, a couple of class activities before, I don't remember when, but we did create shares, files, and so on. So it's getting slow, but it's okay. There you go. All right. Right click on the demo and go to properties. All right. If you go to the settings of it, you see you can enable the access-based numeration. So in that folder, now if this is checked, in the folder demo, only users that have access to it will be able to see it. Otherwise, if you do not have permissions to see the the demo folder, you won't be able to see it. That's what that is. So take a picture of that. Okay, if you want to enable the ABE, this is what you do. All right, so take a picture of that and put it at the bottom of the lab. All right, so now you can close that. We don't need it. Just wanted to show you that. Now I want you to go and open up the File Explorer folder. That's down here. All right, now on the E drive, if you right-click on the E drive, right, and go to Properties, okay, show you something, and I want you to click on, forget about this cleanup, you can clean it up and all that wonderful stuff, and we'll talk about that some other day. If you click on Shadow Copies, all right, so let me disable this for now, because I was playing with it around. Now, on the E drive, what you could do, you could create something similar to Restore Point. So let's say you want to make changes, you want to make a copy, a backup copy of your E drive before you make any changes to it. So what you want to make a shadow copy of it. All right, if you remember, we have the demo text file in there that says hello world in there, correct? So let's say I want to change it to this text file, but before I do, let's say I made a mistake. I want to go back to whatever that file had. I don't want to come back to it. So let me enable the shadow copies. Say yes. So there's a copy of it. We just created a copy at 12:36 p.m. All right. So you can click on create another copy. I'll create another copy. What the hell? All right. Even though I've created one for you. Now I'm going to go back to the E drive. Okay, and I'm going to open up the demo folder, open up the text file, and I'm going to say in there, let me change it. Let's say, I love Server 2022. All right, click File, save it, and take a picture of this. All right, because that's what's in there. Right? So if you close it and open it up again, now Hello World is gone. And you say, oh my God, I made a mistake. The whole drive, I want to go back to where the drive was at 12:36. So any changes that were made after 12:36 p.m., it's going to be erased. So you right click on the E drive. Let's go back and let's recall this file. So click on, this is the old one, the copy, and you want to click on Revert. Click on Revert. All right, say yes, I want to revert back to it. And say Revert now. And now we just reverted it. All right. Click on OK. Let's go back to the Explorer. Let's make sure that the Hello World text file is in there. I open it up, and there you go. Take a picture of it. So now the copy came back. And that's it for this class activity. So practice this a little bit. This gives you a little bit of how to play around with permissions and make restore copies if you want. So it's probably a good idea. You could also do that on your client server as well. All right. So I'll see you on the next class activity.